This man overheard his daughter call another man daddy. Shocked, he chased after them to uncover the truth. Then he discovered his wife's intimate connection with another man, and worse, his daughter wasn't even his own. Betrayed by his wife and framed by his company, he lost his job and fell gravely ill. Stray dogs on the street got more care than he did as he coughed up blood, ignored by everyone. In the end, he died consumed by rage and vengeance. Flashes of his past life haunted him, the dark memories etched forever in his mind. His name was Liam, and after leaving that cursed earth behind, he was reborn as a noble in a world where technology and magic thrived. Tired of living kindly like in his past life, Liam vowed to become a villain in this one. He no longer trusted women and spent years developing mech technology. Leading a mech army, he attacked passing fleets, growing into a force more terrifying than any villain. Liam laughed maniacally, obsessed with building a machine to cross worlds and return to Earth to exact revenge on his ex-wife. In that moment, complex emotions overwhelmed him, pulling his thoughts back to his past life. Back on Earth, Liam worked late into the night every day. Seeing his wife and daughter erased all his exhaustion, he gave everything for his family. When his daughter wanted a pet dog, despite his crippling lack of sleep, Liam sacrificed rest to take her to pick one out. Sadly, the world isn't kind to good people. His boss constantly berated him, calling him useless, and the negativity nearly crushed him. His subordinates disrespected him too, but to provide for his family, Liam swallowed his pride and stayed in the job. Work consumed nearly all his time, but he found rare moments of joy texting friends about his favorite mech models. A small escape. Liam believed that persistence and kindness would eventually pay off. That is, until he stumbled upon his wife's ambiguous relationship with another man. He tried to trust her, but she lied about her day, hiding the other man's existence. Suspicion gnawed at him, so he followed her. What he saw shattered him. His wife took their daughter to meet her lover, and his daughter called the man daddy. Liam had never seen her so happy, and his world collapsed. Before he could process it, disaster struck again. His daughter was in a car accident and needed a blood transfusion. Only his wife's blood type matched. Researching blood types online, Liam fell into despair. He and his wife couldn't have produced a daughter with her blood type. She wasn't his. Furious, he confronted his wife, only to be blamed. She criticized him for barely being home, ignoring that his long hours were to provide for them. She called him a failure, showing no remorse for her affair and pinning all the blame on him. Even the daughter he'd raised for years preferred her biological father. Liam's sacrifices became a cruel joke. The nightmare didn't end. He was accused of a work error, transferring company funds to an unknown account. He didn't recall doing it, but the records were on his computer. His boss berated him one last time, and he was fired, owing massive compensation. His wife sued for alimony, forcing him to take grueling construction jobs to pay it. Alive but in hell, Liam's mind and body broke. On his deathbed, he couldn't fathom why his life had unraveled. Then, a higher dimensional being named Guide appeared, delivering a final blow. His wife's lover, his boss, the work error, a trap set by his boss, who pocketed the money. Rage consumed Liam. Guide offered him a choice: reincarnate in a new world. Liam picked a high-tech interstellar world where mechs reigned. This time, he'd be a villain, living only for himself. In an instant, Liam was reborn as the only son of a count's family. His life finally had hope. On his birthday, his mother splurged on a robotic wife, Emoji, for him. His father, barely in his 20s, retired and handed over all the family's wealth to Liam. The couple planned to move to the capital, leaving Liam in charge of the territory. Ecstatic, Liam decided to become a ruthless lord, exploiting his subjects. He thought Guide was his benefactor, unaware that the higher dimensional being was sinister. Guide fed on human suffering and had arranged countless troubles for Liam, each worse than his ex-wife or boss. This interstellar world was perilous, crawling with pirates who lived by plundering. Their forces were so strong they clashed with national militaries. A princess named Lita led an elite mech army against the pirate Goes, but Goes allied with other nations, ambushing Lita's planet. Her forces were crushed, her home nearly destroyed, and she became Goes' slave. Liam knew none of this. His focus was on Emoji, his robotic wife. His ex-wife's betrayal soured him on human women, but Emoji, being a robot, was an exception. As he explored her functions, his butler, Brian, delivered grim news. Years ago, humans nearly perished in a war against AI robots. A group of heroes saved humanity and became the Empire's nobles. They despised robots, and Liam's closeness to Emoji could spell trouble. His mother's gift had an ulterior motive. Liam's family was drowning in debt. His parents had him to offload their burdens, then fled, buying Emoji as a final act of guilt to care for him. The truth stung, but Liam wasn't the weak man of his past life. Free of emotional shackles, he teamed up with Emoji to rebuild the territory. Nothing would stop him from growing stronger and crushing his enemies. 2 years later, later, with Amaji's management, Liam's territory had improved, but its dire state demanded bigger changes. Liam, only 7, stayed optimistic. In this world, people lived for centuries, giving him plenty of time to build his empire. In his spare time, Liam trained in mech combat. His sparring partner, an officer, let him win to please him, which infuriated Liam. He ordered the officer to fight seriously, and Liam lost quickly. Undeterred, he sought the strongest swordsman to boost his personal strength. A scruffy man named Yasushi caught his eye. Liam, a fan of anime tropes, pegged Yasushi as a hidden master, disheveled but powerful, perhaps jaded by past trauma or lofty goals. Yasushi didn't disappoint. He sliced through several wooden posts with blinding speed, too fast even for Amaji to track. Thrilled, Liam had found his mentor. At night, Guide watched Yasushi silently. Yasushi was a fraud. He'd pre-cut the posts to fake his skill. Per Guide's plan, Liam would train under Yasushi for a decade, becoming a useless fighter. Even Yasushi had no faith in Liam, knowing he was no master, but Yasushi underestimated Liam's resolve. The 10-year-old trained relentlessly, even pestering Yasushi for swordplay tips at night. Annoyed, Yasushi dropped his master act after hours, snacking and reading comics. Liam balanced training with territory management, drawing on his past life's desk job skills. He pored over reports and uncovered odd finances. Investigating, he exposed a minister embezzling funds and framing a murdered subordinate for it. The betrayal felt all too familiar. Liam had been that framed subordinate in his past life, determined to be the only jerk in his domain. He decided to kill the minister to cement his authority. This was just the start. Liam's past taught him a harsh lesson: kind or cruel, the weak always suffered. His hunger for strength grew fiercer. Then something curious happened. Yasushi, realizing Liam was outpacing his fake teachings, schemed to stall him. Mech tech was advanced, with most piloting automated models. Yasushi lied, claiming Liam needed a rare, less automated mech to grow stronger. Yasushi figured mastering it would take years, buying him time to flee. Liam's progress, however, would soon defy all expectations. Unbeknownst to Liam, despite his wariness, a con artist slips into his life. Meet Yasushi, Liam's so-called mentor. Fooled by Yasushi, Liam trains in swordsmanship, passing up the chance to pilot cutting-edge mechs. Instead, he opts for an outdated model named Abed. Liam's robot wife, Amaji, doesn't trust Yasushi one bit, but she respects all of Liam's choices. Amaji hands the job of refurbishing Abed to Carlin, a scientist from the Empire's weapons factory. This glasses-wearing genius is obsessed with top-tier robotics. Thankfully, Liam steps in before Carlin can strip Amaji down for research. Soon, Carlin gets a look at Abed, a relic from Liam's grandfather's era. Fixing it up costs more than buying a brand new mech, but Liam doesn't care. To fulfill his past life mech dreams, he insists Carlin deck Abed out with gear straight out of anime. Yasushi, passing by, is smitten by Carlin's looks. He tries flirting multiple times, only to get completely ignored. Meanwhile, Carlin and Liam are locked in a heated argument. She thinks his refurb plans are childish and will balloon costs. Liam's response? One line: "I've got money." Yasushi, fuming over Liam and Carlin's closeness, devises a brutal training regimen to teach Liam a lesson. Blinded by jealousy, he doesn't realize his slapdash plan will actually forge Liam into the universe's greatest villain. Right now, the galaxy's most notorious bad guy is still Goes, a creep who kidnaps young girls. His latest prize is Lita, a princess who satisfies his twisted desires. Goes hands her over to his scientist lackey for experiments. Bound in a humiliating pose, Lita screams when she sees the modified humans around her. Liam still got a ways to go to outshine Go's infamy. Carlin's just finished upgrading Abed to operational status. The cockpit's so cramped that she has to teach Liam piloting techniques in a rather intimate position. Liam's a natural, quickly mastering Abed's basic movements. But then, oops, Liam gets distracted by Carlin's figure. His wandering mind causes Abed to strike some suggestive poses. Brian, the butler, is thrilled, relieved that Liam's not only into his robot wife, Amaji, and might produce an heir for the family legacy. Yasushi, however, is livid and demands to take Liam's place in the cockpit. Carlin notices Abed's odd behavior and blushes, leaving Liam mortified. After all, he's got an adult soul in a kid's body. Hormones are bound to kick in. The fallout? Yasushi, fueled by jealousy and spite, ramps up Liam's training to brutal levels. While other kids play, Liam endures daily pain. Amaji suspects Yasushi's a fraud but hints at it so subtly that Liam misinterprets her, thinking his training methods are the issue. Determined not to be the weakling he was in his past life, Liam doubles down. Years fly by, and Liam's obsessed with one word: strength. His efforts pay off. Yasushi's stunned when Liam slices a wooden post from a distance, a feat Yasushi, who made up the training, can't even do himself. He's baffled how a fake method produced real results, trying to mask his panic. Yasushi hopes Liam doesn't notice. Luckily for him, a crisis diverts Liam's attention. Pirates attack his territory. Amagi briefs him on the battlefield, and Liam, eager to test his skills, jumps into the fight. Liam's arrival flips the battle. Abed's ancient design catches the pirates off guard, and Liam's training with Yasushi has honed unique mech fighting techniques. Hilariously, he shouts self-invented move names with every attack, living out his anime fantasies. His long-range slashes obliterate multiple mechs at once. Carlin's added external missiles to Abed, causing massive area damage, but Amagi reports the mission's a partial failure. They only captured a handful of pirates, most escaped, and Liam wiped out the rest. Word of the defeat reaches Goes, who's furious and orders his forces to prepare to crush Liam's territory. Before the assault, he executes the runaway pirates. Meanwhile, Amagi updates Liam on their spoils. Per Empire rules, Liam gets to keep the captured pirate ships and their cargo. He's suddenly swimming in precious metals and plans to craft a crown from gold and diamonds, only to learn this world has even rarer metals. As an Earthling, though, Liam's fixated on gold and bling. Amagi's next report is grim. They've got 10,000 warships, but only 30% are operational. Their victory hinged on the pirates' unfamiliarity with Abed, Liam's piloting skills, and Carlin's cutting-edge weapons. To cut maintenance costs, Amagi suggests scrapping 7,000 ships. Brian objects, arguing that fleet size projects power and Dieter's pirates. Liam, ever practical, sides with Amagi. They'll sell off pirate ship materials to fund new warships and boost combat strength. Carlin, riding high from her success with Liam, hits a snag. Her third weapons factory is competing with the 7th weapons factory. Each has developed a new warship, and the Empire's generals will pick the next military standard. Carlin's ship is all about practicality, built for combat. Euligia, the 7th factory's spokesperson, takes the opposite approach, designing a luxurious warship prioritizing pilot comfort, like a fancy sports car versus Carlin's tank. To Carlin's dismay, the generals choose Euligia's flashy model. Carlin tries arguing her ship's superiority, but she's no match for Euligia's sharp tongue. Euligia mocks her, saying no one will buy Carlin's ships, crushing her pride. Back home, Carlin brainstorms sales and thinks of Liam, a fellow pragmatist. Meanwhile, someone else has Liam on their mind, Guide. Feeding off human negativity, Guide orchestrated Liam's rebirth into a debt-ridden noble family and saddled him with a conman mentor. But to Guide's shock, Liam's territory has flourished in just a few years. Visiting Yasushi to investigate, Guide finds him equally clueless about Liam's success. The locals admire their young lord for defeating pirates. Peeking at Liam, Guide sees him practicing long-range post-slicing, and thanking Guide. Of all people, terrified of positive emotions, Guide feeds off Yasushi's negativity to recover. He then schemes to sabotage Liam by arranging for the Empire to sell him old warships, along with troublemaking reserve and retiring soldiers. At the same time, Carlin visits Yasushi to learn Liam's preferences, hoping to sell him warships. Miscommunication leads Yasushi to think she's asking about his tastes. He describes his ideal woman, perfectly matching Carlin. Boosted by this, Carlin thinks she can charm Liam into buying. Dressed provocatively, Carlin pitches to Liam but gets rejected. He's already bought Empire ships. She resorts to seduction, but her awkward moves fall flat. Instead, they remind Liam of his past life wife, who grew cold after buying sexy lingerie, likely cheating on him. Not wanting to hurt Carlin's feelings, Liam agrees to buy 300 of her ships. Thrilled, Carlin brags to colleagues via video call, unaware that Brian and Yasushi overhear. Yasushi hatred for Liam deepens. Yasushi assumes Liam coerced Carlin with the contract. Furious and jealous, he now sees Liam as an enemy to eliminate. Guide, lurking nearby, shares Yasushi's hope for Liam's downfall. Thankfully, Liam's protagonist aura keeps things going his way. Amagi brings good news. The Empire's warships have arrived. To celebrate the fleet's upgrade, Liam pulls a small prank. Soon after, Carlin delivers her 300 ships and asks for a few pirate ships for research. Amagi suggests giving Carlin all the pirate ships. She can study a few and upgrade the rest for Liam's use. Carlin jumps at the chance. Her life can do without hot guys or fancy clothes, but never research. While inspecting the pirate ships, Liam and Amagi find a navigation map detailing the fleet's routes. The pirates operated in chaotic border zones between the Empire and neighboring nations. Evading capture, Liam spots a potential pirate treasure stash and decides to hunt for Roger's treasure. What follows is the anime's most thrilling sequence. Liam plans a wormhole jump, but his finances are tight after buying warships. He asks to pay the wormhole fee later. After seizing pirate loot, the staff refuse. Undeterred, Liam sneaks into the control area and activates the jump himself. Half an hour later, Liam's fleet arrives near Go's base. Oddly, of the 20,000 pirate ships there, only a few are manned, flipping Liam's numerical disadvantage. Piloting Abed, he slaughters the pirates in a one-sided victory, claiming their years of hoarded wealth. So, where's Go's and his main fleet? Rewind an hour. Go's executed deserters at his base, then led his fleet to a wormhole for a jump to attack Liam's territory. Ironically, while the staff blocked Liam, they let wanted criminal Go's pass without alerting the military. Bribed by pirates for years, Go's planned to hit Liam's domain, but Liam's unauthorized jump accidentally sent Go's fleet into an Empire military exercise zone with 70,000 warships. That wraps up the recap for episodes 4 to 6. The story's heating up with some brilliant writing. Liam not only dodged Go's main fleet but sent those pirates straight into the Empire's lap. Even if Go's escapes, his forces are crippled, and when he returns to his base, bam, Liam's looted everything. This sets the stage for an epic grudge match between Go's and Liam. Thanks to this raid, Liam's gained the wealth he desperately needed, and his power's about to skyrocket. He's ready to carve his name across the cosmos, chasing the legacy of Pirate King Roger. That's it for today's recap. Want to know what happens next? Drop "continue" in the comments, and I'll decide whether to cover more based on your feedback. If you're into wild, fantastical anime like this, let me know in the comments. I'll hunt down more to recap. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Catch you in the next one. A few years back, Princess Lita's kingdom was raided by the pirate Go's. Lita was kidnapped and forced to watch her entire planet burn. That was just the start of her nightmare. Go's, a real piece of work, got his kicks tormenting captives, turning them into monstrous experiments. Lita wasn't spared either. Her cries and pleas didn't faze him. He ordered his scientists to transform her too. Fast forward to now. Liam storms Go's stronghold and takes out the scientists. Knowing it'll cost a fortune, he still orders the rescue and treatment of all captives. Thanks to Go's hoarded wealth, Liam's now swimming in cash. Enter Euligia. Hearing about Liam's newfound riches, she swoops in with a plan. She tries to charm him into buying her warships. Since Euligia helped him out before, Liam agrees to the deal. As Euligia leaves, her flashy outfit causes a misunderstanding. Yasushi, who's got a crush on her, thinks Liam stole his girl. Fuming, Yasushi puts Liam through a brutal training session to blow off steam. But surprise, Liam levels up during the workout, unlocking some killer new skills. Yasushi, stunned, decides Liam's outgrown him. Calling Liam a monster, he ditches their mentor-student gig and bolts. Liam's got big dreams this time around. In his past life, he was a kind soul betrayed and killed. Now, he's set on becoming a villain. Power, wealth, and a harem. That's the villain starter pack, right? Yasushi's words convince Liam his fighting skills are solid for now. Money's no issue either. He's raking in gold, renting warships to merchants. Now, the harem part. Liam's daydreaming about gold and gorgeous women. To house his future wives, he orders a massive 1,000 square meter room built. He worries Amagi and Brian might push back, but they're all in. Liam's thinking 100 wives would be plenty for an Earth guy's dream life. But Yasushi and Brian, they're like, 100? Nah, aim for 1,000. They even line up 10,000 women for him to pick from. Liam's overwhelmed. 1,000 wives in a year means juggling 3 a day. He's not sure his body can keep up. Brian insists it's the only way to build a legacy with enough heirs. Liam reluctantly agrees to the harem plan, but, to lean into his villain vibe, decides to flirt with random girls and steal them for his harem if they say no. Big problem, though. The women in his territory have awful taste in fashion and accessories. It's a total turn-off. Liam considers hosting a beauty pageant to raise the bar on style, but Amagi reminds him their finances are still tied up clearing debts. No budget for a contest. So, Liam's stuck wondering where to find his dream girls. Meanwhile, Lita wakes up after a long recovery, restored to her human self. She's in tears, grateful, learning Liam spent a fortune to save her and the other captives. She vows to repay him with her life. The guide is livid. He planted soldiers in Liam's army, hoping they'd rebel against his villainous ways. Instead, Liam's pirate-crushing, captive-saving heroics earn their loyalty. Yasushi's just as fed up. He escapes to a ship full of beautiful women to unwind, thinking he's finally free of Liam. Then the news hits. Liam's victory over Go's is all over TV, with Yasushi named as his mentor. The guide, seeing Yasushi's useless, shifts focus to Go's. The pirate sacrificed some ships as decoys and escaped with his main fleet. Using hypnotic magic, the guide manipulates Go's into seeking revenge on Liam. Liam's clueless about the storm coming his way. He's living the villain life, but the terrible fashion sense of local women, plus his distrust of human women after his ex-wife's betrayal, has him buying a ton of maid robots to take care of him. Amaji's worried. If Liam keeps avoiding human women, he might not have heirs. She nags him to start that harem already. Liam's a bit down about it. He thinks Amaji's the perfect wife material. Kids, he's not fussed either way. His friendliness with robots freaks Amaji out. Though, humanity's had bad experiences with AI rebellions, and she doesn't want Liam to end up a pariah. She tries to keep her distance while grappling with what to do. Then, trouble hits. Go's fleet of 30,000 warships surrounds Liam's territory. He's not attacking right away. Go wants Liam to stew in fear first. Liam's got 5,000 ships, and his AI calculates a measly 4% chance of winning. Out of nowhere, the guide appears beside Liam, freezing time for everyone else. Crocodile tears in his eyes. He lies about feeling guilty for reincarnating Liam into a debt-ridden family. He claims he arranged Go's attack so Liam could win big riches if he beats the pirates. The guide's real plan, he's banking on Liam losing and spiraling into hatred so he can harvest that negative energy. Little does he know, a new twist is about to shake things up. This war's stacked against Liam from the start. Go's has more ships, battle-hardened experience, and a ruthless streak. He sends captives to pilot ships in suicidal charges, using their lives to disrupt Liam's fleet formation. Liam's officers suggest copying the tactic, but he shuts it down. Soldiers, officers, ships, they're his property, and he won't let them get trashed. So, Liam pilots Abed himself, fighting on the front lines to shield his fleet. The massive investment he poured into upgrading Abed pays off. With his top-tier mech and sword skills, Liam's a one-man wrecking crew, tearing through enemy lines. But that's not enough to win. Amaji takes charge, leading the fleet in a full-on assault. Inspired by Liam, no one in his ranks dares flee. The battle takes a wild turn. Liam's mech seems to have an endless arsenal, every strike taking out an enemy. His sword skills, accidentally honed by Yasushi's brutal training, get amplified through Abed, striking fear into Go's forces. As the fight drags on, Abed starts taking damage. At the critical moment, Lita arrives with reinforcements. Euligia lent her a ton of ships and mechs, hoping to butter up Liam for future deals over Carlin's warship orders. With Lita's aid, the tide turns. Her burning hatred for Go's fuels a ferocious assault, while Go's pirates start losing morale, wary of Imperial forces closing in to mop them up. Liam unleashed a brutal onslaught, cutting down pirates without a shred of guilt. These were monsters with countless murders to their names. Lita guarded his back, slashing any pirate who dared to ambush him with the precision of an executioner. Once, she begged the gods for salvation and got nothing. Now, Liam was her god. Amaji gave the order for an all-out assault, and despite their smaller fleet, their forces surged with terrifying momentum. The battle was already decided. As Go's watched his pirate defenses crumble, his mental resolve shattered too. The coward tried to abandon his crew and flee, but Liam was faster, leading a squad of soldiers onto Go's warship. Many pirates begged for mercy, never considering that their own captives had pleaded the same before meeting gruesome ends. Liam showed these scum no pity. After another round of carnage, he began seizing the treasures aboard the ship. Among them, he found a sword that felt like it was forged for him, a perfect match, as if the blade and he were one. But then the guide stirred up chaos again, using supernatural powers to transform Go's into a war machine. Ordinary bullets couldn't pierce his skin, and he seized the upper hand. At the critical moment, Liam wielded his newfound sword and charged into the fray. His blade severed Go's arm, but to everyone's shock, tentacles sprouted from the stump. Still, that kind of power-up was meaningless now. Liam ended him with a single, decisive strike. Following this victory, Liam's territory saw a boost in military strength, and he received a flood of business proposals from merchants. Not only that, but Liam was also becoming quite the heartthrob among the girls. Lita, deeply grateful, vowed to protect her savior with her life. Carlin and Euligia were both vying for Liam's warship contracts, each trying their best to win him over. Just then, Liam got an invitation from the Empire's top brass. His takedown of Go's had made him a rising star. But, out of nowhere, trouble struck. Liam's elders, total jerks, had saddled a kid with massive debts back in the day, and now they had the nerve to demand more money from him. Worst of all, they despised robots and told Liam to ditch Amaji. To Liam, Amaji was family. Furious, he kicked those elders to the curb. Right at that moment, the guide showed up, whispering to Liam's elders about bribing officials to seize back the family territory. Meanwhile, guided by a mysterious force, Amaji stumbled upon this scheme. So, Amaji struck a deal with the Empire's chancellor. She used the bounty from defeating Go's to cover the territory's back taxes and ramped up orders for warships from the Empire's factories. This funneled most of Liam's wealth into the Empire's coffers, but it convinced the chancellor to squash the elders' plot. Amagi could feel the Chancellor's disdain. Ever since the robot rebellion years ago, human hostility toward robots never faded. Not wanting to tarnish Liam's reputation, Amagi offered to leave, but Liam shot back, saying if she dared walk away, he'd drink himself into a useless mess every day and wouldn't even fight back if enemies came for revenge. In that moment, Amagi broke through her robotic limits and shed tears. She swore to serve Liam for the rest of her life. Alright, congrats on finishing another anime recap on my channel. Drop your rating in the comments below. I've got tons of classic anime recaps on the channel, so stick around to kill some time with those. Thanks for watching.